And welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here, those who are here in person as well as those of you online. Today, I want to talk about being conscious 24/7. Being conscious 24/7. How many of you want to be conscious 24/7? How many of you want to zone out sometimes? In the ecstatic dance that I used to participate in Boulder, Colorado, one of the teachers there, Melissa Michaels, fabulous teacher, and she used to say when we were dancing, she would say, "Don't zone out, zone in." Right? Because some people go to there and they say, I just want to zone out and just, shake it all up and just zone out and like go away somewhere. Like the mind just goes away somewhere. And the whole benefit of ecstatic dance is that we be present to ourselves, that we be in this moment, we be present to our bodies, we be present to our emotions, we be present to life and what's going on. And that speaks to me a lot of what it is to be conscious 24/7, that we zone in. We don't zone out, we zone in, and we're willing to be present to all of it. How many of you are willing to be present to all of it? How many of you want to have a donut when some of it comes up instead? Instead of being present to all of it, have a donut instead. Right? This is in our humanness. Sometimes we want to do this. I would raise my hand to that one. Sometimes it's just like, I got to eat a donut. All this emotions coming up, all this uncomfortable stuff is coming up, and there's nothing wrong with donuts, by the way. I love donuts. Although I am trying to not have so much refined sugar. That's my one weakness. I'm vegan. I got this good, healthy diet, but boy, do I like sweets. So pray for your minister. Yeah, the thing about using sweets in that way is that's unconscious, right? Like if we're going to eat a donut, do it consciously, right? Have it be because you just want to enjoy a donut, right? If it's in reaction to I don't want to feel certain things, then we're just using it to numb out, right? That's not being conscious, that's being unconscious. That means I don't want to really be present in this moment to what I'm experiencing, to what's happening in this moment. There was when I was at the home office one time, one of the staff unknowingly, when a minister did not pass her ordination panel, went and got her some cookies. And I thought, well, it's a very nice gesture. And at the same time, it's not a conscious way of handling disappointment. The conscious way of handling disappointment is to actually be with the disappointment, to actually be with ourselves in it. And the beauty of that is that leads us on a conscious path of expanding our awareness. That takes us in ourselves and allows us to be in the journey. How many of you know that all of these things, those emotions that we call positive and those emotions that we call negative, that every single one of them is your friend? Only 2 hands went up. No, 3 hands. And some are going up now. Okay, yeah, maybe. All of our emotions and all of our experiences in life, those that we call comfortable, uncomfortable, good, bad, they're all here for one purpose, and that one purpose is for our spiritual evolution, for our evolution and growth. And if we would just be present to it all, then we would get the greatest gift ever. And when we numb out to it, we miss out on that great gift. One of the ways that we can really lead a 24/7 conscious life is to start our day being conscious, right? If we don't start our day being conscious, then it's kind of hard to have the rest of the day be that way. But if we begin our day where we wake up in the morning, right? We wake up in the morning and we say, thank you, God, for this new day, or however you want to say it. Thank you, life. Thank you, universe. Thank you, spirit. Doesn't matter. But you wake up in the morning, you're like, thank you for this new day. I greet this new day. How many of you wake up and go, I got to get up now. What's going to happen today? when we really realize that the presence of Spirit is our very life, and that God, Spirit, life is always wanting to do something beautiful through us, beautiful as us, even when we're experiencing the difficult moments. How many of you have had the experience where something that has been really difficult in your life has ended up being the greatest gift? Yeah, many of us have had that experience, right? We're in the moment at the time, we're like, oh my God, why is this happening? But it turned out to be the greatest gift. And if we really look at life for as it really is, then we'll get to see that every single experience is like that. And then we can see it in real time as opposed to seeing it after the fact, right? And one of the ways we can see it in real time is just to really be present to it and actually begin to say in real time, even though everything in us is like, oh my God, this is terrible. But we begin to say to ourselves, this too is God. This too is good. All is in divine timing. All is in divine order. All is divinely perfect. We begin to approach all of life and all situations and circumstances in this very conscious way, where we're really aware, right? We have a teaching, right? Well, we all get it, right? God is all there is. Everything is in divine timing. Everything is in divine order. So to live that 24/7 is to be aware of it as every little thing is coming up in life, right? When you've got that person sitting before you that is annoying you, or is your response to them or reaction to them is annoyance because they're not annoying you. No one can annoy you, but you can have the reaction of annoyance. So when you're having that reaction of annoyance, you could say to yourself, this too is God before me here. This too is a divine being right here before me. And you could even send them some love. And you could send yourself some love in that moment as you're feeling that annoyance. Living a conscious life means also that we don't participate in certain things, right? If people were to observe us in our day-to-day life, including myself as the senior minister here, right? Observe us in our day-to-day life when no one else is looking, right? We're outside of the spiritual community. Would there be enough evidence would there be a big body of evidence that we are practicing science of mind? You know, and every once in a while I catch myself, right? And I go like, oh, that wasn't very ministerial. That wasn't very spiritual. Sometimes it's on a tennis court. Sometimes it's in traffic. Sometimes it's with my pet peeve, you know. Anyone else have pet peeves, things that just kind of, oh, I don't like that? One of my pet peeves that I have to work with is when people have like devices like in a public space, restaurant, coffee shop, whatever, and they've got their device playing, right? Like loudly, without any headset. So it's like beaming out, right? I'm like, why are they doing that? That's so annoying. That's so rude. And I get to work with that. I get to embrace that. I get to embrace, because living a conscious life means I embrace everyone right where they are. They're not sitting there doing that to annoy me. They're just being them. They're just living their life. They're just doing what they do, probably totally unaware of the impact that it's having on anyone else around them. If any of you do that, don't be offended by me. Saying that. You're like, oh shoot, I was just doing that yesterday. I was watching a video on my phone while I was sitting in a coffee shop with it blasting out. It's okay, I'm working on it. See, I'm embracing. If that's you, I'm embracing you. Being conscious 24/7 would mean that when the social media conversations are going on, or the email conversations are going on, or the gossip conversations are going on, and everyone's getting into it, you know, maybe it's political, maybe it's about some person they don't like, maybe it's whatever, that we take a breath and say, is this something I want to participate in? if it's like demeaning another person, even if we feel like, oh, I'm justified because look who they are, look what they do. You know, if it's a politician, look what their policies are, look how they be, look how they act, look. Even when we feel justified because we're so righteous, right? We know how you're supposed to be, and they're not being that way. I don't know about you, but I know how everyone's supposed to be. The right and proper way to be. But we all have those thoughts, right? Most of us have those thoughts of what ought to be. And we're comparing everything that's happening to our own filter of what we think ought to be. But could we step back from that? Could we step back from that and realize that everyone around us is on a journey? And could we embrace them right where they are on that journey? Whether they be someone in a power or politics, whether they be a neighbor, whether they be a public figure, whoever, could we really realize when we say that every being, every person is a divine expression of that one? Do we teach that here? Do we teach that here? I think so. Just making sure. That every person is a divine expression of that one. That means every person. Right? Do you two agree? That means every person. Take a breath on that. As you filter through your, mind all these different people. Like, well, wait, that person too? Being on a conscious path and being on a conscious journey means that we would be a little different, right? It means that our choices are different. It means that what we focus on is different. It means how we hold things is different. How many of you know that we are at choice? Not necessarily about everything that happens, but we are at choice as to how we hold it, how we respond to it, what we do with it, right? We're at choice in all of those things. And when we are being conscious 24/7, we take a breath first before we react or respond. We take a breath and we observe our own thoughts. One of my colleagues, Dr. Kim Kaiser, we went to ministerial school together, became ministers together at the same time. His wife, Joyce DeFala, as well. We all became ministers together. He used to have a bumper sticker that you may have seen or heard as well that says, "Don't believe everything you think." Don't believe everything you think. So we begin to examine those things that we think, right? We begin to have those judgments, those interpretations of what's going on, the interpretation through our filter of what ought to be happening, and it's not happening, and therefore something. We begin to examine those things and realize this is just an opinion I have. This is just a perception I have. And it doesn't mean it's good or bad or right or wrong. It just means that I take it for what it is. I acknowledge that it is just a perception I have. It is just an opinion I have. Dr. Ken Gordon, who used to be the leader of our whole organization, would say, in my opinion, of which I am very fond, right? We're all very fond, he would say that jokingly, right? We're all very fond of our opinions, but can we realize that they're just our opinions? We get so righteous, right? We get so self-righteous, right? We have an opinion, and therefore we think it is the right opinion. It's just an opinion. Whether it's my opinion, your opinion, someone else's opinion, it's just an opinion. It's just one, and you know what? Everyone is right. Everyone is right. Right? There's that parable about an elephant and three sightless people, three blind men who are describing an elephant, that they're encountering an elephant for the first time, and one of them is holding the trunk, so they're describing an elephant the way the trunk is. It's like, oh yeah, it's long and it kind of curls and all that. And the other one's like, no, that's not what an elephant is at all. They're touching the side of an elephant. An elephant is this huge, humongous, big thing, right? And then someone else is doing the tail, and they're like, no, you both are wrong. An elephant is this like, whatever, however an elephant's tail feels. I've never felt an elephant's tail. Something I have yet to experience. Every single one of them is right. And each one of them is looking at it from the perspective of where they're sitting. So from where they're sitting, their life experience, their belief system, what they've come to believe, their values and what they value. So being conscious means we don't just accept things because they come through our minds and our thought and it's our opinion. We realize so we hold, it's not that we don't have opinions, right? Like we need to have opinions, right? We need to be able to say, I prefer this versus this. I want this versus this. I want to vote for this person, whatever. But just we can hold it in a lighter way. Rather than holding it so tightly, this is the right thing. It's like, this is just my opinion. I get to have an opinion, and this is what my opinion is. You get to have an opinion, that's what your opinion is. You get to have an opinion, that's what your opinion, and none of us have to have the same opinion. So we wake up every morning, we greet the day, and we say, God is all there is. There's only one power, one presence within my being, within my life. And this day, I know that everything I meet and everything I experience will be in and of the divine, because the divine is all that there is. And everything that unfolds today will unfold in perfect divine order, perfect divine timing. No mistakes have been made. No mistakes are being made. No mistakes shall be made. That's what Ernest Holmes, our founder, said in a prayer. No mistakes have been made. No mistakes are being made. No mistakes shall be made. And then in the middle of the day, we take moments where we take a breath. We take a breath when things are coming up or when we start to get a little off-center. We take a breath, close our eyes just for a moment. We take a breath and we go, God is, I am. God is, I am, and all is well. And then all through the day we do that. And at the end of the day, before we go to sleep, we say, thank you, Spirit, thank you, life, thank you for this beautiful day. And we might write some things that we're grateful for, the gifts of that day, which is an amazing practice, because sometimes we end the day and all we can think of is that one thing that went wrong, so-called went wrong, right? And that's all we can think of. But if we have a practice of writing in a gratitude journal, we're writing in that gratitude journal, and it's amazing all the things that day that went right. It's amazing all the things we have to be grateful for. We could fill up pages. And yet sometimes if we don't do that consciously, our whole attention is on the one thing. Maybe we said something wrong. Maybe someone said something to us. So we just be conscious every step of the way. And then we could even have the intention that even as I go into my dreams, I'm going to be conscious in my dreams. I love that when I'm having a dream and there's something that comes up and my spiritual consciousness comes in the dream. 24/7, we can be conscious. We can be aware. It's just being aware. It doesn't mean that we're not having some emotion like anger or jealousy or any of those things. It just means I'm going to be present to it, and I'm going to realize it's not who I am. It's an experience I'm having, and I'm willing to be present to it. I'm willing to be in this moment. I'm not going to go eat a donut just because I'm feeling something I don't want to feel. I'm not going to go have a drink just because I'm feeling something I don't want to feel. So we're willing just to be present to life and to remember the greater truth in that moment. That's being conscious 24/7. And we all can do that. Thank you so much for your attention today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we've reached that time where we invite you to share your gifts with us. If you received something good today, we invite you to reach into your heart and see what you're called to give. And Miss Ruth right here, our wonderful, she is just here like every Wednesday. She is here to pass the plate around, and we have a affirmation, which I don't have my iPad in front of me. I don't have it memorized yet, so I'm going to look up there. Excuse me for looking up there. Let's say it together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. Yes. Such a sweet gathering we have here on Wednesdays. So good to see all of you and all of you online, whether you're watching it in real time or after the fact. The beauty is we're always watching it right now. There is no moment other than now, so whenever you're watching it, it's right now. In a moment after we finish the collection, Grant will be coming through with a microphone, so I invite you to contemplate whether you might have a question or whether you might have an example of how you be really present to life and how you be conscious moment by moment. So Grant, come on, whoever, you can raise your hand now if you have something you'd like to share, or it might be a prayer request. That would be very welcome as well. It's the one thing we love to do here is pray. Who has a question? We have a hand up. Sue, the vegan. My fellow vegan over here.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. So this past Saturday, Jane Goodall was here in town.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. She spoke in San Pedro, and it was life-changing. But one of the themes of her speech was caring. And she's celebrating her 90th birthday. And this woman walks her talk. She loves animals, as we all know, and so she's a vegan. And I noticed, like, she very much cares about the environment. And she didn't have a plastic water bottle up there. She had a permanent bottle. And isn't that part of being conscious?
Yes.
You have to walk your talk,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. 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 At times, I confess, I sometimes buy some plastic bottles, but I really do my best. I always have my permanent water bottle there. But yeah, like being conscious of our impact on our environment, on others. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Sue.
Oh, I wish I had known that she was in San Pedro. Oh my gosh. My daughter and I still talk about that. Back when we could rent movies from the library and a projector and all, I rented a movie of Jane Goodall, and it impacted my daughter's life too. She still talks about it, you know. And I remember Jane saying that she didn't care. As long as she was able to crawl around on those mountains, she would crawl around. You know, just really an inspiring person. And the other thing is it's really short, but as far as the gratitude list kind of idea, again, the same daughter had, she mentioned to me this week, and I've been doing it. I really like it. I'm used to the gratitude thing. I feel like I'm really a grateful person all the time, you know. But she said that she tells her clients, what is something that happened today that was really great? What was the greatest thing that happened today? And it kind of put me in a different place, because I thought of that yesterday, and I thought, oh my God, there was that encounter with my financial advisor guy that was so amazing, just in the person that he is. And I hadn't seen him for years and years, and he took me back. I was so thrilled, you know. But that was such a thing. And if I was thinking, what am I grateful for? I might have thought of that, but it put a little different feeling on it. But what was wonderful, something that happened today. And I just really like that idea.
What is something wonderful that happened to you today? Yeah, beautiful. Who else? Question, prayer request, comment? David.
Thank you. That was awesome. My cousin Lee is still going through chemo, and now she's in her third round. And she was hospitalized in between the second and the third. So I just like prayer around her, please.
Lee, your cousin Lee.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in prayer for Lee. And anyone else have anyone in your life or yourself that would like prayer around health as well? Health and wholeness and well-being, Beverly? Yeah, okay. So we'll include everyone in your life, in my life, who and yourselves in this prayer of health and wholeness. So let's turn within for a moment, as well as those that are experiencing right now perfect health. We'll just know that this wholeness is the reality for each one of us. And so we just turn within in this moment to remember that God is all there is. That there's only one power, one infinite intelligence, one mind, one divine presence of wholeness, of harmony, of love, of peace, that this one indwells each one of us. It is, in truth, our own very life and being. And so this is the truth of Lee. It is the truth of Beverly. It is the truth of every one of us in this room and everyone that concerns us. And so I speak this word right now to know that our bodies are governed by the divine intelligence and wisdom and love that is God. And so there is a perfect activity of spirit taking place in each one's body right now. Every cell, organ, every function, every aspect of the body is right now working in perfect harmony. And anything that is unlike the great original harmony is right now dissolving and yielding and being released and eliminated. And so there's perfect circulation, there's perfect elimination, there's perfect assimilation. And so everyone is, in truth, whole, perfect, and complete. And I call this wholeness forth right now because it is the reality, and dis-ease has no place. It is not the truth of any of our being. And so I know anything that looks like dis-ease, that the dis is dropping and it is becoming ease. Harmony is prevailing. Harmony is our natural birthright. And so this divine harmony is right now harmonizing every aspect of our bodies. And so all is well right where we are. I am grateful. I let it be. And so it is. Yes. All right. Lita.
Thank you for a beautiful talk.
You're welcome.
And just a couple of thoughts. Life can be perceived as consciousness, and we are filters, or we tend to have filters, or we tend to apply filters to both our expression of the life in us and our perception of the expression of the life in other people. You've brought up at other times the concept of service.
Yes.
Divine service. And sometimes on Sundays when we are in the Taste of Home circle, the point is made that Holmes brings up that liberty is not license.
Yes.
And that God is love and law. In other words, in this river of expression of life, one can express with ultra focus like a bull in a china shop, to where we are very clear about what we're trying to accomplish, because life tends to accomplish. You could say that perhaps one of the things that life is trying to do is sustain itself and sustain the life around it. So we're always trying to get something done in terms of the results we're trying to do. So we can approach it with ultra focus like a bull in a china shop,
Sure, yeah.
or with lack of focus like a toddler. And both could be said to be expressing freely. But one of the things in terms of setting that filter in the morning, we can try to set a filter of awareness and service, and it's kind of like it's like expressing freely in a way that is truly supportive of ourselves and others.
Yes.
In the freedom and the effects, so that we can increase the harmony you just spoke of more willingly, rather than having life trim our edges, so to speak, to create room for others. We can voluntarily see how do we freely move through in a way that is also allowing for more harmony, both in our perception of people and our action.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Lita.
Because like what you mentioned in the restaurant of somebody playing their device, perhaps not knowing or not thinking that it's affecting others' experience, or maybe even perhaps wanting to share it with someone else. What we never really know is the motive of the person. All we see is the action.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
how it either is neutral, positive, or negative for our desire of an experience or a behavior. And one of the ways we can serve is if we notice we are limiting our perception of the person, and we can open up our perception to see more of the harmoniousness if we just notice, like you said, what am I thinking about this?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, there's so many ways that we can show up consciously, and I love what you shared, Lita. I love that we would start our day. One of the things that came to mind as you were speaking is that we can start our day, that everything I do today is for my highest good and the highest good of everyone else I encounter, right? So all of these are like very conscious intentions, right? I love it. Thank you. Who else? How much time do we have, Grant? Oh, excellent, excellent. We're in no hurry here, Beverly.
I wasn't going to speak, but I love the part when Spirit is in charge. And when you were praying for me, the event yesterday that set my whole day is sitting next to me. I was having this very upset, not hearing from the doctor, not hearing what I needed to hear, and my phone rings and it's Anne. And she said, I had a little window here, and I'm in my car going to go to Founders, and she prayed for me.
I love it.
And what I love about that is Spirit's in charge. And in your class, it's, I don't really have to do anything in a certain way. All I
yes.
need to be is listening and to be aware, and 24/7. I love that.
Yes. And how was the timing of her call? Like the timing of when it came in?
Yes, that was it, because I'm sitting there going, haven't heard, and I was doing my, well,
Yes.
what's wrong with them, and they're so incompetent, and I have the report, and on and on and on, and the
Yes.
phone rings, and that's what I
Yes.
love about, I say to so many friends and family, and not to myself, Spirit's in charge.
Yes.
You know, I
yes.
love that, so,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that one mind as well, right? And with you two being connected and friends as you are, there's even that greater likelihood, right, that you tune into each other and you'll call just at the right time, right? Beautiful. Who else? Question, comment?
Hi, thank you. You know, I just
And
have
what
a
is your
little
name? I'm not sure I know
Angel.
you. Angel. Yes,
Thank
Angel,
you.
yes.
You know, I just had a little comment. I work at Trader Joe's, and I've worked for the company, geez, almost 24 years. I've been there since the beginning, yeah.
Wow.
And so when you talk about people with their music playing loud and walking through, you know, I totally experience that all the time. But what I wanted to share was that I come into contact with people, hundreds of people a day, and I would like to think that I walk the talk throughout the day, and
Yes.
with the experiences that I'm able to have with other people and coworkers. And through my experience, when I come into contact with people and they've had those, they bring sort of a negative vibe with them, or they're going through something, you know, you can feel it. And, or if they're venting, oh, this is the worst day, oh, the traffic, or whatever brought them to this thought, I always say, let's just take a breath in the middle of Trader Joe's, like at the
Yeah. I
register.
love it.
You know, I go, let's just take a breath. Let's just slow down and take a breath. And almost, I would say 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, people will breathe. They will
Yes.
consciously breathe it out. Like, I believe that people want to release those emotions or that negativity and maybe have some sort of validation, just let's breathe it out.
I love
So
it.
I just wanted to share that experience because I heard you on stage
Yes.
saying just take a breath.
Yes.
And yeah, I do that. I've done it for 20 years,
Thank
so
you, Angel.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing out there in the world. And yeah, I'm a fan of Trader Joe's. I think Trader Joe's, they train, it's a very intentional, conscious company in a way, because you go in there and you can feel this service, right? You can feel like everyone's there, like, how can I help you? How can I help you? Are you getting what you need, right? It's a very, I love going into places like, I'll pay, well, Trader Joe's prices are actually good, but I'll pay more money to go to a very conscious place. And even though it's more expensive, just because of, I know that this is going to be aligned for me, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing, Angel. We're going to take it to Ann. We can come back to you if you have something else.
I love Trader Joe's too, but what I wanted to report
This
today.
is not a commercial for Trader Joe.
What I wanted to report today is I don't know if all of you were here when I said I'm on my 4th cancer, but the first 3 were no big deal, only surgery, early detection. And I've had 2 bouts of radiation, and I asked you please to, because I think I'm fine, to envision me as really functioning wonderfully well, just having many more good years. And guess what? It's happening. So thank you.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Did you want to say something else, Angel? Let's get the mic there to you.
If I could add, and it is a little bit of a conflict that I do experience because even though where I work is a great positive place, we do sell tons of plastic bottles, so throughout the day, because I carry my reusable, I have my filter.
Yes.
So throughout the day, I am aware that even if, like you said, it's a great environment, but there is not always, I think, a great environment. There's sometimes I think maybe it's a balance, or I don't know what you would say about that. But,
Yes.
I do come out, everything, my
Yeah,
salads are
I hear
in
you.
plastic, the granola's in plastic. So
Yes.
it is a conflict that I do experience.
Yes, and one of the ways that I deal with that is I feel like we do the best we can. We may not do everything exactly the way that's aligned, but we do the best we can, and we keep getting better, right? And that's how I live my life. And there was an interesting thing. I went to a lecture this week on healthy eating, and the person who was speaking said that Whole Foods, which I love as well, but they said that Whole Foods, most of the foods in Whole Foods aren't whole foods, right? Because whole foods is really foods that are they're in their original state. Like if you eat a piece of fruit or eat a vegetable, that like most of the things there are processed. So it's very interesting, right? That we still have. I guess evolution to do even in our more conscious entities. But I think just the fact that we have places like that says we're making progress, and we just keep on evolving and getting better is how I see it. Yeah. But thank you for your consciousness. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, we have time for 1 or 2 more. Yes, I was hoping to hear from one of you. I could feel something over here. And tell us your name. Oops.
Hi, I'm Rosie. We haven't been here for a while, probably since before pandemic when Dr. Moira was here. But we have a question because we're both going through something where we feel very betrayed.
Ah, yes.
And we're wondering, how can we be present 24/7?
Ah, yes.
And you're trying to do good all the time, and then you
Yes.
get betrayed, and it's confirmed, and people are really doing bad
Yes.
against you.
A lot of heartache and betrayal. It's hard.
Yes,
How do you
betrayal
stay
is not
in that
fun.
moment and conscious of God.
Give her the mic.
I-
We want everyone to hear you. I'm sorry. I can understand you're feeling emotional.
just to be conscious of God, and be in the right state of mind, even though you're angry and hateful.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of hate that goes with betrayal and heartache. You don't want to feel that way, but can't help it. And you try to come here for relief, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's still there.
Yes.
It's a battle.
Betrayal, man, betrayal is a tough one, right? A couple things. One is that you can still be in your center. You see, no one can stop you from being in your center. No one can stop you from taking a moment like we're seeing here, taking a breath and saying, you know what? God is at the center of my being. Now, here's the thing with betrayal and some other things is that really has, as much as it seems like it's about you, because it's coming towards you, it really actually has nothing to do with you whatsoever. And once
affects us so
it affects you, yes.
That's the problem. It's like, how does it not?
Yes, it affects you, right? Because you feel something, you know, and at the same time, it's a beautiful time to practice, right? It's easy to practice the teaching when everything's great, right? And nothing. Right. A beautiful time to practice is when you're facing something like that of betrayal, and then to be like, even now, the presence of God is within me. Even now, when it appears like someone is going to be able to do something to harm me, they cannot. No one can get in the way of my good. No one can get in the way of your good, even when it appears that they can. So it's a great place to stand in your power, stand in your knowing, consciously choose that I am not going to hold them anything against them. I am going to be the bigger one because I'm on a conscious path. They probably are not on a conscious path. They're up here into the betrayal thing, so they're probably not on a conscious path. So that situation is so much about their journey, and their journey just happened to coincide with your journey.
The hardest part is that it just runs through our mind all the time.
Yes.
Like we fight that every day. We both fight the thoughts,
so
the
what's
feelings, and we
yeah.
thank God and we love God and we talk to God. But at the same time, 10 minutes later, it goes right back to those betrayal.
So, yeah.
It's such a battle in us right now.
What would be the highest way that you could hold this? The highest way you know that you could hold this and that you could look at this? What would be the highest way that you could hold all of this? That would be where if you could stand in that way, it would be like you would be in your power, you would be in your peace. What's the highest way you could hold this? The highest way you could think about this?
I have no idea.
I know, I'm not sure.
We're searching for that.
So let me offer something, right? Perhaps a way that you could hold this is that I'm okay. Even now, I'm okay. Even now, love is prevailing. And when the thoughts return, right, those thoughts where you want to go, you come back to that. You come back to, even now, love is prevailing. Even now, I am in my power. And choose what it is that you are calling forth in this experience. Like the ways that you think they're going to affect you, you start to say, this is what I'm calling forth into my experience. Even as it appears that this person is having an impact on me. I understand that. I have been in that betrayal thing before where someone appears that they could really have an impact on me. And maybe even to some extent temporarily they do. But long term, you are going to be the one to prevail in this because you're going to stand in your truth. You're going to stand in love. You're going to stand in your power. And here's the greatest part of it. And it's not fun, maybe, but the greatest part is that you start to send love to that other person. Right? That's not fun, right? Right?
We're not ready to pray for them right now. Maybe eventually. We're praying for that. But right now, that's the battle because we are Christian people and we do know God. So it is so hard for us. And I think that's the biggest thing for us.
Yeah.
I'm sending love, but it
I
still
love it.
hurts.
I'm on the other side.
It hurts.
I'm mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It hurts.
yes. Yes. See, here's... Take a breath for a moment here about what I'm about to say. Take a breath. All right? So, your anger is not totally about that situation. Right? That's a trigger. That situation is a trigger for something that already is in you. And your opportunity is to work with that's already in you and heal that And this is the divine perfection of it. The divine perfection of it is you're being given an opportunity to heal something that's going to serve you anyway. And in that way, that person is actually a gift for you. So take another breath, because that's the hard truth of it, right? But it's also the beautiful truth, because it lets you know that you're going to be okay if you stand in your truth. And you're going to be okay if you don't allow you to become something other than this person that you are. You said we're Christian people, that you get to still be in that knowledge, even if someone else is doing something different. We can talk afterward if you want. Thank you so much for bringing that in and the vulnerability. Yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, yes. All right, well, I think we're going to, okay, one more person and then we're going to close here. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to remind you and everybody, too, of a practical thing of to have a note up everywhere with the positive affirmation, if it's a goal that you've already gotten it, and put it up on your refrigerator, the bathroom mirror, your car dashboard, next to your bed, and you see it all the time. After a while, you may not see it, but your unconscious does, and it gets out to the whole world. Just keep those practical notes everywhere where you see them every day. I've got joy, love, everything all over the house. I found a bath mat at Target that said joy. I went, okay, got that too.
Yeah, it's like the prayer without ceasing, right? You're constantly filling your consciousness with that higher truth. All right, so I think we're going to close, and let's close with a prayer today. Let's close with a prayer. Appreciate everyone here. And so we just enter into that deep knowing that God is one power. All of life is one. There is no separation. There is only one. There is only one. There is only one. That one is the whole perfect, complete life of God. It is a presence. It is a power. It is centered everywhere and has its circumference nowhere. And so right where each one of us is the presence of God. And in this awareness, I speak my word of blessing, and I bless each one's journey. I know that we are finding the strength, we are finding the clarity, we are finding our way in whatever it is that is in our path right now, and we are seeing the good. We are seeing that somehow this is part of my evolution. Somehow this is part of my breakthrough. Somehow this is my answered prayer, even if it appears to be something else. That there is a healing that is coming forth for each of us in whatever it is that is occurring in our life right now, and it is leading us to higher and higher ground. And so I know that we have the strength, we have the wisdom, we have the courage, and we have the power to stand in truth regardless of appearances. I am so grateful for this truth, this awareness, and for the ways that it is playing out in each one of our lives. Life is good, all is well, I am grateful, and I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you all for being here. Have a great Wednesday.